business.
It's our everyday lives.
In our words.
Through our actions.
And the way we think.
So when we say, mind your business,
it really means we keep everyone's business in mind.
And to us here at SP School of Business.
Business is a choice.
A calling.
An opportunity to improve.
an avenue to make a difference.
It's about taking problems
and turning them into solutions.
Breaking stereotypes and building prototypes.
Business is a philosophy, an idea, a dream, a goal.
Yes, business encompasses numbers and analytics.
But it's also about relationships.
It's a community, an ecosystem.
A language for global thinkers.
World peace.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Business is more than just about the money.
It's about being creative and adaptable.
And embracing endless possibilities.
Business is a way of life. And the things we do
Affect the way we live.
We have a huge part to play.
in making the world a better place.
So let's put our best foot forward. Look towards the future. And the future starts with
Welcome parents and students to SP School of Business EAE webinar. My name is Lorraine and I'll be your MC for the Common Business Program, Diploma in Business Administration, and Diploma in Human Resource Management with Psychology session today. Before I introduce our speakers for the day, let me bring your attention to the Q&A button found at the bottom of your screen. You can ask our panelists questions by clicking on the Q&A button and keying in your questions. Our panelists will answer your questions in the later part of the info session. We do hope that you stay until the end and let us know how we've done through a feedback form. And from there, we will be selecting 10 lucky winners who will be notified via email of a special prize that you could win. Today, we will be having three students. Today, we will have students from our 3 diplomas to share with us about their courses and life as a student. May I present to you Sean and Jordan to share a little bit more about the Common Business Program. Gentlemen, please.
You're able to see my screen. So, hello everyone, good afternoon. I'm Sean, and together with my fellow MC Jordan, we want to warmly welcome all of you to the Common Business Program EAE webinar. We'll be sharing more about the Common Business Program, or CBP for short, and our own experiences in it. Now, first and foremost, CBP caters for students who are passionate about business but may need more exposure and hands-on experience to decide which business specialization to specialize in. This shows the journey of a CBP student. Once they enter the course, they will learn the same Year 1 common modules as all School of Business students. These modules give them an exposure to the different business areas. They will also be encouraged to attend various activities organized to help them make a more informed decision on their specialization. These activities can range from ECG lessons to talks by industry professionals. At the end of their Year 1, they would then rank their choices among 6 specializations and will be ranked based on their interest and aptitude. Lastly, they will be placed into one of the 6 specializations and continue years 2 and 3 in their specialization and will graduate from there. So, what are the specializations that CBP students can choose from? These are accountancy, banking and finance, and human resource management with psychology. The other 3 specializations are under the Diploma in Business Administration, or DBA for short. And these are digital marketing and branding, innovation and entrepreneurship, and international trade and operations. The common Year 1 modules that SB students will learn are as shown. These modules give students an introduction to the various business areas, for example, accounting, marketing, and human resources. For the subjects highlighted in orange, these are what we call taster modules, as they will give students a small taste of what the 6 specializations are like. This shows a further elaboration of the specializations and their taster modules. A unique selling point of the Common Business program is that students, by learning the Common Year 1 modules, can have an idea of the different business areas before deciding on their specialization. For example, if a student really enjoys and does well in the Year 1 module of Fundamentals of Marketing, he may then consider choosing digital marketing and branding as his specialization. Or the student can have a feel for accountancy through the relevant module, Business Accounting. For banking and finance, the relevant module would be Economics. And for international trade and operations, it would be IT and data analysis for business. And you will know you have a flair for management, human resource management, if you enjoy the management and human resource practices module. For the innovation and entrepreneurship specialization, students will have to go through an interview to showcase their passion for this area. Now I'll be passing my time to Jordan.
Thank you, Sean. To show the 6 different specializations offered, let us watch 2 videos based on typical business operations. The video will feature 6 friends from the Common Business program who are discussing what they would like to specialize in Year 2 of their studies. Do listen carefully to what they have to say, and you can make a guess of which specializations they would likely pursue. The first video would be about 3 friends, Mandy, Laura, and Aaron.
Six DCBP friends agreed to meet up to discuss what specialization to opt for in Year 2. Their favorite hangout is a beautiful cafe, Beauty Cafe, where they come to admire the aesthetics and savor the dishes served. Recently, the cafe launched a new concept, the Bubble Tea Buffet, where they can mix and match the ingredients for their bubble tea.
It's such a clever and interesting idea for the entire new cafe concept. For sure, I want to go into marketing. I want to develop ideas into real market products that can capture people's interest. I'm also keen to look into all areas of social media marketing.
I still managed to order takeaway from this cafe during COVID, even though I couldn't dine in. It's amazing that they use IT to streamline their business and adjust so quickly. All ingredients and materials still manage to come in from overseas despite the lockdowns. I wonder how much trouble the owner went through to speak to the suppliers. I want to learn more about how things move from the country of manufacture to the final country the product is sold in, and all the data analysis behind the operations. Also, I keep ordering things online, so I want to study business operations.
Students then noticed Aaron was deep in thought while they were speaking. Aaron was actually busy counting away the number of bubble tea cups that were being sold. He took out his handphone and started computing the revenue generated, mentally calculating possible earnings of the shop, after guessing how much the overheads like rental and other costs would be. I would love to know how much the shop earns, and I really love working with numbers. I think accountancy may be for me.
So, Sean, let me give you a quick test, shall I? Let us try to match the friends with their interests and guess which specialization might be most suited for them. We shall start off with Laura, the girl who felt that the idea of a bubble tea buffet was such a clever, interesting one. So which specialization do you think should be most suited for?
Idea generation. Is it digital marketing and branding?
Absolutely right. Laura would be most probably be suited for learning digital marketing and branding. Let's move on to Mandy. The friend was so amazed that all the ingredients could still manage to reach in from overseas despite the lockdowns. So which specialization do you think should be most suited for?
Coming in, digital marketing and branding. International trade?
Absolutely right. How about Aaron then, who was counting away the number of bubble tea cups sold and computing the revenue generated?
Numbers, calculating, banking and finance.
That is a very good guess. However, his interest in number would show his interest in accountancy more. We shall now move on to the next video and listen to what the three other students, Brandon, Henry, and Ernest, would like to specialize in.
Three hours later.
After chilling for about 3 hours, they decided it's time to leave. They then decided to pay Brendan so he can pay with his credit card to earn points.
I know for sure what I want to study. I find it so amazing that just a few years ago, everyone paid with cash and nets, and now it's almost exclusively contactless payments. I learned about currency in my economics class, and I think I would like to know about the changes in the banking industry, like what can possibly be after the contactless payments. Besides, I'm also interested in credit cards and how this is all part of the retail banking.
As they were paying, they noticed a cute cafe cashier who was very polite and smiley.
I always thought I wanted to work with figures, but after studying more about managing people, I started noticing that the staff here have great interpersonal skills and are always so happy. The Human Resources Department in Beauty Cafe must be taking care of its staff and their careers. I want to study how companies develop their employees and a great workplace culture. Planning the career progression and training staff is something I would be interested in doing too. But who knows? As I study more and as I listen to all of you, I may change my mind again. Luckily for us, DCBP students, we can take 1 year to experience and gain a flavor of different business areas before choosing our specialization in the next 2 years.
So they turned to the final student, Ernest, and asked, "You have been so quiet. What do you want to do?"
After learning about all the modules and hearing what you say about all the business areas, I think I finally decided. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to take charge of my own destiny. I will set up my own cafe. I will be your boss and all of you will have to work for me.
So Sean, same thing again. What do you think is most suitable for Brandon, the one who was so interested in the different contactless payment methods?
Something to do with payment, banking and finance.
Absolutely right. How about observant Henry then, who not only noticed that the cashier was cute, but also that she has great interpersonal skills?
Cute cashier, interpersonal, human resource.
Correct. He will most probably enjoy studying human resource management with psychology. And lastly, Ernest, who would like to be his own boss, would be happiest in innovation and entrepreneurship, where students would learn the ropes of running a business. So, besides having a taste of the specializations through the modules, how else does the school help students make an informed choice? Well, there will be many activities organized by the Common Business Program team to help students. For example, we have career profiling events where our ECG counselors would help students to discover their interests and then share more about which careers are more suited to them. Secondly, we have industry talks by practitioners from the different specializations. They will share the main functions of what they enjoy the most about their jobs. So one of the highlights of the talks is that the industry practitioners are all of our School of Business alumni. So therefore, they will understand what the students are going through and thereby are more relatable. Thirdly, we have the Seniors Connect Day where we would invite our Year 2 and 3 seniors to join in to share to their juniors of some of their feelings and experiences being in their respective courses. Lastly, the course chairs of these specializations will also organize talks to the students, highlighting some of the unique aspects of their course. Underpinning these events are the ongoing weekly ECG sessions, where students will explore their values and interests to help them discover which careers they may be more suited for. So Sean, on a more personal note, right, what do you enjoy the most being in CBP?
I think apart from all the friendly lecturers and of course the friendships that I have forged, I think most importantly CBP has given me an opportunity to understand the different the various areas of business, which really helped me a lot in my decision making at the end of my year one to choose my specialization. I think firstly when I entered SP, I never thought that I would take marketing as my specialization. But after going through the whole program, the taster modules, I think I started to develop a liking and a passion for this field, marketing, which I eventually chose as my specialization, which I'm currently pursuing. So what about you, Jordan?
Well, I strongly agree with some of the points that you have mentioned. For myself, I shall share with you my journey in Common Business Program. So at first, I had thought of pursuing banking and finance back then when I was still in secondary school because of my parents' influence. However, as I was still uncertain and undecided about the choice, I decided to rather join Common Business Program first, just in case. Thankfully for myself, when I was in year one, my PTN at the time, or form teacher at the time, shared with us his experiences running a coffee business as an entrepreneur. So that actually kick-started my passion in wanting to run my own business, and I ultimately chose to join DBA Entrepreneurship. Other than that, I've also made many new friends along the way, which actually made the start to a new environment a much more enjoyable one. So ladies and gentlemen, before we come to the end of this segment, if you're interested, please do follow us on our Instagram page at SP Common Business. I repeat, at SP Common Business. If you are very sure of which area in business you would like to specialize in, do select these diplomas directly. However, if you are still undecided or may still need more time to make up your mind, do select Common Business Program. Also, do stay back for our Q&A session with our lecturers at the end. With that, we have come to the end of Common Business Program sharing. We hope that we had managed to provide all of you with some key insights of what CBP has to offer. We sincerely thank you for your kind attention. With that, we shall hand the time over to our fellow schoolmates from DHRMP and DBA. Once again, on behalf of Sean and myself, thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you, Sean and Jordan. That was really nice sharing and insights into CBP. Next, we will have Mr. Jasper Sia, course chair for the Diploma in Human Resource Management with Psychology, who would like to say a few words. Jasper, please.
Thank you, Lorraine. Right, a very good afternoon, students and parents. My name is Jasper, the course chair for the Diploma in Human Resource Management with Psychology program. And joining me today are two of my year 3 students, Burdette and Herman, who will show themselves later. Right, so my diploma, in the Human Resource Management with Psychology, or commonly referred to as DHRMP. This course was launched only in year 2008. So we are the youngest diploma program in the School of Business. But we have grown and are happy to see the student application numbers rise steadily over the years. So we've also increased our intake numbers recently to address the growing needs of the industry for trained and competent HR practitioners. So indeed, the role of HR has evolved from being a corporate support function to playing a more strategic role in businesses. So think of HR like the player manager of a sports team. We are the ones that are suitably poised to advise who should the team fill, promote, offer a new contract, or even groom further. So CEOs and business leaders now expect this from HR to attract and retain key talents in a company, as well as be involved in culture building and driving change. So globalization and automation, combined with the rise of digital workplaces and mobile workforces, these are changing the way businesses function and compete, and the way people work. So for continued sustainable growth, businesses now, and the workforce have to become more agile and relevant, continuous learning, upskilling, and reskilling. So companies that value their people and invest in them in their development will be better positioned to take advantage of emerging opportunities. Okay, so this is the basis of the Ministry of Manpower plan, and our DHRMP curriculum prepares students to be ready to be a competent HR partner of the companies that they join in future. So our DHRMP diploma curriculum is robust, mapped against the Singapore National Skills Framework and aligned to the Institute for human resource professionals, okay, the only certification body in Singapore. Right, so now I'll invite my students, Burdett and Herman, to share more about the course with all of you. Both of them are currently year 3 students and enjoying every moment in their journey with us here in the School of Business. So Burdett and Herman, take it away.
Thank you, Mr. Jasper. Firstly, a big thank you to Sean and Jordan for introducing the Common Business program offered in SP. Being the first ever Polytechnic to offer a specialization in human resource management with psychology, we have indeed come a long way to be an established and reputable course. I'm sure that many of you here will agree that working with the right people with the right skills and knowledge is crucial to any organization. So, for our students and parents listening, you may be wondering, what exactly will you be learning in DHRMP and what can you expect during and after your time in SB? A very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Herman, a Year 3 SP scholar currently studying in DHRMP.
And I'm Burdett, a Year 3 ECG ambassador also currently studying in DHRMP.
And we are both successful applicants of EE to DHRMP. At this point of time, many of you may have doubts. Is this the right course for me? Is this the dream course that I'm looking to apply for? Don't worry, because today, Burdett and I will be bringing you through what our course entails and why you should join this comprehensive and enriching course. SP's Diploma in Human Resource Management with Psychology is a comprehensive course aligned with the National HR Skills Framework, equipping us students with the necessary practical skills in human resource management, workplace psychology, and even emotional intelligence. It incorporates professional assessments from the Institute of HR Professionals in Singapore, offering us amazing opportunities to be a certified associate.
That's right. DHRMP has really given us a great head start in our IHRP certification journey, which would most definitely be useful when we go on to pursue a career in HR. Not only that, this course does really equip us with real-world experiences so as to be successful HR professionals in the global business market. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely. DHRMP offers hands-on training and applications to all our modules. With opportunities to participate in industrial events, we really do gain knowledge and skills about the industry. Moreover, we are exposed to industry immersion and corporate experiences even before we graduate. This really allowed us to understand more about corporate and industrial cultures. We collaborate with many partners and companies to learn new skills and knowledge. We work closely with HR partners such as SHRI and IHRP to grow our experiences, attain certificates, and broaden our perspectives about the overall business market today.
And through our projects and competitions, we learn many different technical skills along the way. Some of the prime examples I can think of are Microsoft 365, UiPath, Synergita, and even Workato for robotic process automation. We will also be learning Tableau in our upcoming term. Herman, I'm sure that the students and parents are curious as to what exactly we learn in DHRMP.
Of course, over the past 3 years, we studied a plethora of practical and beneficial modules to help in our future careers. As what Sean and Jordan mentioned, students in DHRMP will also be learning the necessary business skills and knowledge as well as study the taster modules to broaden our growth and understanding.
There is a minor difference though. While other Year 1 students learn about business negotiation skills, DHRMP students will be taking emotional intelligence instead. Why is this so?
Well, that's because for DHRMP students, we'll be learning a module called Negotiation and Conflict Management in Year 2. This essentially covers business negotiation skills and additional conflict management skills to our learning. In Year 2 and Year 3, we then specialize and focus our learning on 2 main categories, human resource management and applied psychology. But do you want to explain what our human resource management modules entails?
Gladly. Instead of explaining all the courses in details, we will only be highlighting some of the key HR modules that impacted us the most. Do you guys remember when Herman mentioned that DHRMP incorporates professional assessments from the Institute of HR Professionals? Well, that's exactly where employment law plays a part. Employment law will teach us about the local labor policies and legislations set by the Ministry of Manpower. We learn more about the Employment Act, Foreign Manpower Act, CPF Act, and so much more. This module teaches us how to apply this knowledge across the life cycle of many different HR functions so as to effectively support the businesses and workforce. What was your key takeaway from this module, Herman?
Employment law is also actually useful in learning about your own rights in the workplace. This really taught me which behaviors and actions can or cannot be condoned in the workplace itself.
Wow, that's right. We managed to learn how to protect our rights and entitlements while in the workplace, as well as what we can do when faced in undesirable circumstances. Great learning point there. Moving on, another great module we learn is talent sourcing and acquisition. This is the module where we learn on topics such as recruiting, onboarding, employee value proposition, employer branding, and more. In this module, we managed to gain some hands-on experience on digital recruitment and selection tools through fun and engaging simulation exercises. With Singapore growing to be a blended society, we should definitely equip ourselves with the necessary skills in technology. Hey Herman, do you remember the one-on-one sessions with Mr. Dave from Persol Kelly?
Yeah. That session actually really allowed me to learn the step-by-step process in visualizing, creating, and amending my ideal resume, which even till this day, I'm still using it. As Singapore is going to be a more hyper-competitive and globalized city due to technology, how else has it affected the HR industry?
Whoa, technology disruption has affected the HR industry greatly. Hence, in DHRMP, we will also be learning about the HR information system, which will teach us that instead of straying further away from these new advancements, we will face it and leverage on the technology developed to deliver useful and relevant HR-related services. Using the Singapore HR Tech Market Map, we are exposed to the multitude of the different HRMS systems available in Singapore, as well as how cost-effective they would be to an organization.
As a matter of fact, we also attained our certification in Workato, which is a single platform for integration and workflow automation across the entire organization. We created the different recipes and learned more about the functions within the system itself, which is all the more useful during our internship and our work itself.
As for HR analytics, we will be equipped with the relevant skills and knowledge needed on the key HR analytic principles. With prior information from our business statistics module back in year 1, we will be utilizing software such as Microsoft Excel and Tableau to make relevant dashboards, linear regression graphs, and better visualizations of data. We are able to gain knowledge through a series of analytic exercises, which ranges from problem solving to data collection, all the way to utilizing data to make useful, actionable, and highly effective insights for an organization's decision making.
Wow, don't these modules sound so practical and beneficial for a HR professional?
They certainly do. And this is just the HR modules offered in DHRMP. How about the psychology modules we learn?
Excellent question. As someone who's planning to pursue my education relating to psychology, DHRMP students are offered a large number of useful and relevant applied psychology modules. On top of all these modules, I would like to bring your attention to two of which I'll be talking more detail into: psychology in counseling and negotiation and conflict management. So when it comes to making decisions for an organization, there are bound to be situations where we, HR professionals, need to be able to deal with conflict effectively. As such, negotiation and conflict management skills come in handy in exposing us students to the influence of social psychology on organizational negotiations and conflict management.
Sounds great, right? We were told to discern what temperaments we were, and I found out I was a harmonizer.
Yes, I mean, you were always someone who was always so friendly and was able to see the bigger picture in all the projects that we worked together with. And other than that, we were also taught on how exactly we deal with these relevant temperaments, as well as the effects of other personality factors. Lastly, we also learned psychology in counseling, which essentially introduces us to the theories and practical applications of basic counseling skills in both organizational and business contexts. But Ed, do you remember what are the different theories we learned?
Of course, we have cognitive behavior therapy, person-centered therapy, and even mindfulness-based cognitive therapy.
That's right. In addition to learning about the different theories, we also develop micro skills such as active listening, empathy, and so on and so forth. In this module, we will train to also draw genograms, which are essentially a visualization of relationships for the clients itself. At the end of the semester, we will also be required to do a role play with real counseling scenarios to evaluate all the skills knowledge, and behaviors that we learned throughout our entire course. Lastly, I would like to introduce to you our final year project, which is also known as our Integrated HR project. This is a capstone module for all Year 3 students in Singapore Polytechnic and is the key determinant to apply what we learned over the course of 3 years into a single project. So in this module, we have the opportunity to work on a real-life external client project where we have to deploy our design thinking methodology to help create and facilitate innovative and sustainable interventions to address their workplace challenges. This project will really give us the opportunity to think outside of the box and deepen our key HR and psychology skill sets.
Apart from our final year project, yet another exciting thing for Herman and I to look out for is our internship. DHRMP has designed comprehensive and value-adding internship opportunities for our 22-week internship program. SP collaborates with large companies in many different industries where students will be able to immerse themselves in the industry and gain corporate experience. The internship opportunities we are given weren't just limited to human resource management, but also to industries such as psychology, social work, research and development, and more. Some students will also be sent for additional external training in order to gain certificates and learn new skills. Some of the companies DHRMP offers are shown on the screen. Our seniors have gone through many different companies and experiences in the industry. Some of the most prominent companies are Singtel, SMRT, Fraser's Hospitality, Singapore Prison Services, National University Hospitals, and even IKEA. These companies work with SP students to learn more about the fast-growing technology and trends in the industry and will definitely help students gain experience.
Speaking of which, why don't we show them what our student experiences are in SP?
Definitely. DHRMP most definitely has the friendliest and engaging people. We are all in this course to learn more about people, to develop and nurture people as our friends, partners, and strengthen one another. For our class itself, we often take part in many recreational activities to bond with one another, such as volunteering, blood donation, parties, class barbecues, and much more.
Yup, spooky skeleton, as you can see there.
Okay, moving on. We were also given the opportunities to take part in HR hackathons, where SP's team, Bob the Blender and SP Success Factors, had gone home with champions and first runner-ups. In the HR hackathon, we were allowed to collaborate with the large renowned companies such as Under Armour, Adecco, Far East organizations, and more to work on real-life HR challenge statements. We were guided and mentored by industry experts, which really gave us an edge on the industry itself. Didn't it, Herman?
Definitely, with these experiences, I feel like I'm more and more comfortable in entering the industry itself.
Well, you can after graduation. Speaking of which, what are our future pathways after graduation?
As you can see on the screen, here are some careers that you can consider when it comes to future after SP. In fact, more than 90% of our students indicated that the course training received was actually relevant to their current job function. So what comes after? If you want to go universities, you can see actually SP Diploma is actually recognized in all local universities in Australia and United Kingdom. So I think this is one thing that we can all take note, especially for me as I'm trying to apply for NTU psychology. Not to mention, more than 70% of our SP DHRMP graduates have gained admission into prestigious local and overseas universities in topics such as law, information sciences, economics, business under human resource management, sociology and social work, and psychology. So final reminders to those who are wondering to yourself, what happens after? During your EAE, there will be an interview, so I think it's extremely important if you are confident and you are yourself. Be as authentic as you can, be as authentic as possible, maintain eye contact, have a good pace and tone when it comes to speaking to your interviewer, calm your fidgeting, maintain a good posture, and most importantly, believe in yourself. With that, we've come to the end of our presentation. So if you want to find out more about DHRMP, do follow our Instagram at sp_DHRMP and make sure to always check our websites and check out more about our modules and our content. So with that, we end our presentation, passing on to our peers from DBA. Thank you. See you next year.
See you next year.
Thank you, Burdette and Herman. That was really fun. I completely enjoyed it. It makes me want to go back to school again. We have Winnie Wood coming up, the course chair for the Diploma in Business Administration, who will now take over and tell you more about DBA. Winnie, please.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Are you all able to see my projected screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. All right. Thank you, fellow presenters. A very good afternoon, parents, students, colleague. Thanks for signing up for our webinar. I'm Winnie, course chair for Diploma and Business Admin. Now, before you hear from my students from our 3 specialization, please let me take the next few minutes to share more about the Diploma in Business Administration, also abbreviated as DBA. Okay. DBA is the first business diploma by the School of Business since we started in 1986. This year, we welcome our 36 student intake. We offer 3 specializations, which are innovation and entrepreneurship, digital marketing and branding, international trade, and of operations. So let me begin by bringing you through the key features of DBA, namely our new curriculum. Okay, I'm delighted to inform you that starting this year, we offer a dynamic curriculum, one that lets students build strong business foundation while discovering their interests and aspiration in all 3 years. First up, our students would take 2 special integrated and applied modules, okay, Beta, also known as Business Essential Through Actions in year 1, and School of Business Incorporated, SBI, in year 2. Now, students will be taught useful business concepts in the setting of venture creation and business operation in an applied manner. So the focus on Beta is feasibility studies and ventures creation, whilst School of Business Incorporated is in the operations and expansion of business. Both modules will be taught in engaging pedagogies to help our students be more hands-on and build an enterprising mindset. Now, this course gives students many choices. It will help them with diverse, it will provide them with diverse choices from specializations to elective and internships. So let me bring you through a simulated journey of our DBA student in the new curriculum to explain more on how specialized modules are selected. Now, DBA students will take a total of 6 specialized modules together with their core modules. So towards the end of year 1, our students will decide and choose which specialization they want to start with in the semester 1 of year 2. Now, this selection comes with 2 prescribed modules. Now, they will then make 2 more selection of 2 specialized modules in subsequent semesters of year 2 and year 3. And in their non-studying semester, in year 3, they will have a choice of either internship or to take up entrepreneurship practicum for those who wants to focus on innovation and entrepreneurship specializations. Now, those who want to take internship can also make several choices. Okay, they can take up either internship with SP Students Agency, or they can intern with our diverse internship partners. They can also have, we also have internship with overseas exposure. So they can decide again then on the internship domain, whether it is in the area of marketing or trade and operations. Okay, now another interesting feature about DBA is that we give students the opportunity to earn additional certificates depending on the student's choice of specialized modules and their internship focus. They can be specialist, okay, or earn additional certs upon graduation. We offer specialization certs and certificates in our 3 specializations, namely IE, DMB, and ITO. Okay, our student-centric structure does really let our students determine their own study path, that are one that is really driven by their passion, interests, and aspirations. So for our students who prefer to take a deep focus in one specialization, we'll take 4 specialized modules and take up internship in the same area. He or she will be a specialist in that area. Okay. Now others may take a combination of specialized modules such as our integrator. These students can focus on learning on 2 areas, be it multidisciplinary or you could take a mixture of modules from the 3 different areas. Okay, so these students can earn a certificate so long as they take 3 specialized modules from 1 specialization. Okay, so I guess to bring you all through to let you have a better understanding of our course structure, here is a sample of a possible study path for a specialist student. Okay, one who would like to take a deep focused in digital marketing and branding. The students will take 4 specialized modules, as I've mentioned. Then we'll take 2 more specialization, outside of the specialization, and then do an internship in the same domain, which is marketing related domain. And then next up, I also have a sample of a possible student who would like to take two areas of focus, a dual focus in areas of digital marketing and branding, as well as trade and operation. The students will take 3 specialized modules in digital marketing and branding and international trade and operation. He or she can then choose the areas of focus for their internship. Okay, I'm quite sure that you're also very interested in the progression pathways after Polytechnic and opportunities for university. Now, I'd like to share that based on the 3-year average since 2018, about 75% of our graduate progress to undergraduate studies. Of these 75%, 65% are enrolled with our local autonomous university, NTU, NUS, SMU, etc. Now, of these, 85% are doing a degree that is similar to DBA. So DBA graduates have found the course useful in helping them to further their studies in diverse areas of business related courses such as economics, analytics, operations, econs, accounting, and even law. Okay, so I wanted to say that really it's not just studying alone. Now, we really focus on the holistic development of our students. Their 3 years is so precious with us. So to complement the curriculum, we organize learning journeys, workshops, webinars, and field students in competition to enrich their journey with us. So we encourage our students to get involved with competitions, okay, and also volunteer themselves for school-wide activities such as for the various webinars. We have our Diploma task force and also community service projects. Okay, so our students have over the years done very well in competitions, both national and regional competitions, and this platform has helped them to be more industry relevant and gain confidence as well. So I just want to say that just like our students presenters today, earlier you've heard from Sean and Jordan, as well as you're going to hear from 3 more DBA students, we encourage our students to really stretch their potential so they can learn, grow, and shine. And a lot of our students and our graduates have found their passion, their niche, and their calling. So I've come to the end of my segment. I will now pass the time over to my students. I will take some time to introduce them. Yeah, I have Benicia from Benicia from the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Specialization. Chen Qi from the Digital Marketing and Branding Specialization, and then Paul from the International Trade and Operations Specialization. They will share with you more regarding their DBA experience, as well as their EAE, the EAE process, and a little bit of tips as well, and how to survive poly life too. So let me pass the time now to Benicia. Benicia, please.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'm Benicia, and I'm specializing in. Give me a moment. Okay, so I recently graduated from SP, and I was from Business Administration, specializing in innovation and entrepreneurship. So some background into what I did in SP was to take part in multiple CCAs, though the main one that I held a role in was actually the SP Entrepreneurs Club, where I also was the vice president in 2020 to 2021. So I also participated in activities both inside and outside of school, as you can see in this brief list over here. So now let me give you something more tangible. I'll take you through a picture journey of my time in SP. It's put in roughly reverse chronological order, so I suppose you'll see me get younger. Okay, so here in the top row was the Spirit of Enterprise Award ceremony, where I received my award for the Best Student Interviewer. It was part of the Student Interviewers program, where I got to interview entrepreneurs about their journey. Beside that, you'll see a picture of my class, where we had an online bonding activity during circuit breaker. In the bottom row are pictures from my business, Discounted. So running a business is a big part of the experience of the innovation and entrepreneurship specialization students. This is because instead of an internship, we actually have a practicum where we run our own businesses. So I'll elaborate a little bit more on this later. Moving on, you'll see me in the top row here participating in a competition back in year 1, where I had to work with group mates internationally in both Korea and Japan, which is also why you see us video calling in the picture in the middle. And of course, in the bottom row, I can't forget my CCA, along with some fun with my group mates after exams. So overall, I'd say that the events that have shaped me fall into 3 categories: competitions, leadership in CCA, and external programs for self-development. So next up, to share a bit about the journey of the innovation and entrepreneurship specialization students, in year 2, they will take business strategy and planning, where they will ideate their business, assess the market, and find business opportunities to come up with their unique value proposition for their business. So next, in e-commerce strategy and development, they will learn about the business and technology topics, like the various new business models that are arising from the technological revolution. Finally, in startup finance, they will learn about the sources of funding for startups, along with the ownership structures of businesses. In year 3, they will continue with e-commerce strategy and development, while also taking up global business strategy, where students learn how to analyze and seize global opportunities, and finally, wrapping it all up with the entrepreneurship practicum in place of an internship. So if we were to rewind back to the start to answer the question that you might have, which is how I prepared for EAE. So first up, you need to know why you want to take this particular course. EAE is about giving a place to those who are interested in the course and have the aptitude for it. So you need to be able to showcase these 2 aspects. So how then can you showcase it? You can get testimonials. So you get testimonials from the people who know you and get them to highlight the strengths that you have. So for example, perhaps your CCA is related to the course that you want to get into, then you can get your CCA teachers' testimonials to highlight your skills in this area. And lastly, to put together a portfolio to showcase your talent. So this can include your certificates or personal projects. Then when you're at the interview stage, you should take the initiative to show them your portfolio. So because this is your chance to wow the interviewers. For me, because I was from a business CCA, I showcased the certificates from the competitions that I joined, along with testimonials from both my form teachers and my CCA teacher. So moving on, here are some study tips for your poly life. So first up, you gotta be consistent. So Polytechnic scores work on a cumulative GPA system. So unlike JC, where it's just that one big exam, all your grades in poly will count towards the final score that you graduate with. Then next up, for me, I actually did like lecture notes, as you can see in the picture here, consistently as my videos are released. So next up, it helps to study with your friends because you can motivate each other and also ask each other for help if you're stuck. Last but definitely not least, you shouldn't be afraid to ask for help. So for those of you who are more shy, this can be pretty daunting. So to combat that, you can ask your questions before or after lessons instead. And that's it from me. So I wish you guys all the best for your EAE applications, and I'll now pass the time over to Chenzi.
Okay, so thank you, Manisha. That was such a wonderful and insightful sharing. So now that we've heard about innovation and entrepreneurship, now it's time for marketing. So now I'll be sharing my experience as an EAE student. So let me introduce myself first. My name is Chen Qi, and I was from Woodgrove Secondary School. I was admitted through the EAE admission exercise, and now I'm currently a Year 2 Business Administration student, specializing in digital marketing and branding. So why did I choose to EAE? Well, ever since secondary school, I was really clear that I was particularly interested in marketing and also entrepreneurship, with many small projects where I would explore the area. So as you can see in these pictures here, I have my own small business selling stickers, banners, and cards. And I will market them myself through social media platforms such as Twitter and Instagram. So I really enjoyed the whole process of doing so, and hence I was really clear of what I wanted to do after my O-levels, which was SP's DBA course. So other than the fact that SP's DBA was my desired course because of the specialization it provides, DBA is also the most established diploma with its long history, with a huge network of alumni. That means it will also be easier to find connections when you go out to the workplace, and hence easier to find a job, which was important to me. And DBA is also well recognized in local and overseas universities for further studies, which is also something that I value a lot. So I'd like to share more about a core module which I took in year 1, which is the fundamentals of marketing. So just a heads up, this module has now been embedded into the beta program for the current batch of students. So here's a picture of our project. So it was to research on a local brand, which was Jollibean, where we applied marketing concepts to evaluate the company and determine areas that they should improve on, etc. So here are the prototypes that my team came up with and made improvements to. So it's like the packaging and promotions where we felt that it would be better to attract our target consumers based on our research. So it was through this module that I had the opportunity to learn the basics of marketing. And from here on, I decided to specialize in digital branding and marketing, as I preferred it over entrepreneurship. So for here, here's the year 2 modules. So here are 2 out of the 6 specialization modules that I'm currently studying as a year 2 student. So in the brand management module, students will be able to understand the role of brands, advantages of creating a strong brand image, and also the concepts of brand equity. And in consumer psychology, students will be able to understand what goes on behind a consumer's purchase and what goes on in their minds. And also the factors affecting purchases, which helps marketing professionals to market products better. So here's a very recent project, which we finished around 3 weeks ago for our consumer psychology project. So it is very practical as you get to work on company case studies, which in my case, for my team, it was the optical store lens card. So here are the improvements we made to their existing app recommendations to improve customer experiences with reference to our project. So do expect projects like these where you get to be very creative and innovative, where you come up with solutions to cater to your research findings. So I had, apart from academic experiences, I also have some non-academic experiences to share with you. So I had the chance to be part of the organizing committee of a virtual overseas service learning program called the YEP-GO, which stands for Youth Expedition Program Goes Online. So as you can see, even with COVID, SP has still made it possible to work with people overseas. And here I got to meet a lot of new friends and also people from Pangasinan in the Philippines. I was part of the publicity team where my role was to mainly design virtual backgrounds and manage our Instagram page. So I also had the opportunity to facilitate activities like the one shown on the screen right now. And this helped me to actually step out of my comfort zone and train my public speaking skills. The experience was valuable to me because through interactions with people from a different country, I learned how to overcome cultural barriers, which helped me improve my communication skills. So I'm also part of the SP Outstanding Talent Program, where many opportunities are provided for you to hone your soft skills like leadership and communication. So here's a picture of the virtual leap camp, which is like a leadership camp I participated in this year. And we got to understand leadership concepts, understand more about our leadership styles, and interact with other students across different schools within SP, not just within School of Business. So I'm also part of the Age Scholars Program, which helps with students' personal development. So there are many opportunities for beneficial workshops, such as one shown on the screen. This is a workshop to discover our individual motivators in order to understand ourselves better, which helps us to perform better academically and also non-academically, which was very helpful. And this is not all they offer. There's many more programs that comes under this program. So to end my sharing, let me share with you some EAE tips which I followed or wish I had knew when I was still in the process. So for the write-up, it is good to be specific and go straight to the point because there is a character limit. And you want to highlight more relevant experiences and projects to the course to show your genuine interest. For example, for myself, I wrote about my experiences in marketing and entrepreneurship so that it shows whoever's reading it that you're really passionate about the course of study. And for the final write-up, I found it helpful to show someone and ask them to identify which course it is meant for, as it acts as like a checking point to see if you are on the correct track. And for the actual interview, I would say dress appropriately for a good impression, or you could just wear your school uniform. And be an interview extrovert by trying to let them know more about yourself and show them that you're genuinely interested in the course of study. It is definitely good to also research and prepare possible questions beforehand so that you can practice it with a family member or even a friend, so that you can be more prepared and prevent panicking during the actual interview, which can affect your state of mind and overall your whole performance for the interview. And that will conclude my simple sharing for today, and I'll pass on my time to my schoolmate, Paul, who'll be sharing about international trade and operations.
Thank you, Chen-Xi. Hi, so now I'll be presenting about Singapore Poly Diploma in Business Administration, specifically in International Trade Operations. I'm live in Singapore Polytechnic. So I'll be going through the curriculum, my EAE process, beyond the classroom activities, and how SB can develop your potential. So, I am Paul Ong and I specialize in international trades operations. So you must be wondering why I chose international trades operations. So one of my hobbies is online shopping. It always wondered to me in 2014 how I was able to buy a Samsung tablet on Q0010 just like that. It was able to be shipped from China all the way to my house just within 2 weeks. So that really begs a lot of questions that you want to answer in logistics. So in international trades operations, you learn things like procurement, business processes, logistics, and automation and analytics. It gives you a full, all-rounded understanding of operations, which is extremely useful and integrated in the globalized environment that we live in today. Shoes, phones, and even your chicken rice rely heavily on international trade operations. So next time when you think about your chicken shortage in Singapore, think international trade operations. So I had a wonderful time learning international trade operations in Singapore Poly. You are taught things like 24/7 parcel collection, drone delivery, and I even had the ability to build a 3D model for logistics solutions. On top of that, you learn things like how to build and develop a driving delivery route. On top of that, distribution centers to be able to ship your product to the right customers. Now, with that, one of my favorite projects for international trade operations was global procurement management of the Nike distribution process. From that, we learned things like how does the entire process of making the shoe, sourcing the shoe, and even distributing the shoe. We also realized that there are many things that are involved when it comes to logistics. Reliable logistics is one of the things that we look for, especially in this kind of environment today. And then we also realize how different countries affect different logistics environments. So from that, we use the Nike warehouse factory to allow us to have a deeper understanding of what goes on within the logistics industry. From that, we have things like practical knowledge, interactive lessons, and thorough curriculum to help us be industry ready in the logistics environment. So you must be wondering now, if it's so exciting, how do I get into this course? Now, the way I got into the course was through EAE. There are 3 steps to it. There's a personal write-up, there's an aptitude test, and an interview. So for the interview itself, you must ask yourself questions like this. Why are you passionate about business? Why do you want to join business administration? And are there any activities that show your interest in business? For me, I applied to business administration and I was part of Bits and Atoms, which was a CCA that focused heavily on design thinking and business-minded thinking. On top of that, I participated in startathon competitions. We tested your ability to solve real-life problems because there are many business problems within the world itself. Of course, From there, it really shows my interest to be part of business. So next comes the aptitude test. So what Singapore Polytechnic wants to do is it wants to test your ability to think critically and your ability to apply your learning. It will have basic logic questions to test your ability to solve situational problems. Then from there, SP will gauge whether you are suitable for the course or not, and then you move on to the interview stage. Now for the interview stage, we break it down to 3 simple things that you do. First, you show your interest and passion. Why are you passionate about business? Similar to the personal write-up. On top of that, you show your interviewers why SPDBA is suited for you. Not MP, not NYP, SP. And finally, bring a portfolio because your portfolio demonstrates your aptitude and your interest in a specific course. Now with that, if you follow all these steps, you have a very high chance of being able to be part of this SP family. Now let's talk about beyond the classroom activities. As Minnie mentioned, this is all real. I've managed to experience many things and I would like to share my experiences with you. Firstly, for CCAs, I was part of BP Mentoring, which was a community service learning CCA that focused on giving back to the community by teaching children PSLE subjects. That inspired me so much that I went on to start NetHaven, which focused on online hate and cyberbullying. So there are over 100 CCAs in SP and match your interest with your CCA. On top of that, I had the ability to join the Temasek Foundation program, the Harvard Business Mentorship program, and I was given the opportunity to be part of the Student Ambassador and Monsoon Sim competition. So if you're worried if you do not have any experiences outside the classroom, don't worry, SP is for you. It will give you so many opportunities to choose from to really develop your holistic development in terms of education. Now, how do you develop your potential? For me, I developed it through 3 things: time management, friends, and passion. I'm sure you can do the same thing too. For time management, I used something called time boxing, which was the ability to state a specific amount of time to complete a specific task. From there, I moved on to things like, for example, setting daily goals, which allowed me to stay motivated and not procrastinating. This really helped me enable my ability to manage time and really achieve many things during my SP. Yeah. On top of that, we have friends. So in SP, you get to meet a plethora of people from diverse backgrounds, behaviors, characters, and personalities. So what you want to do is you realize that if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, go with friends. So what you do is you learn from one another, support one another, and grow with one another. Because there's no other place than SP to really broaden your chances to interact and meet with new people. On top of that, passion. So in SP, you are in an environment where you really get to learn, you get to grow, and you get to understand. So you really want to love what you do, because when we do things in detail, and it really takes you very far if you have a passion for the things you do. On top of that, understanding that it's a process, and when you feel stressed in SP, just know that if you feel stressed, you are growing and you are able to hit your true potential. This is what SP wants you to reach. So with SP, it's really opportunities are so endless. Just choose the activities based on your interest, because there are so many activities to choose from within SP, and put yourself out there, because it's so important that you are able to experience everything that SP has to offer for you. Thank you so much. And if you want to find out more about SP, just head down to the SPDBA website, where you can find out many, many more things about the various students within SP. Next, I'll be passing my time to Miss Winnie. Thank you.
Thank you, students. Wow, it's so enlightening to hear all the stories, especially from our former students, right? I think it's a really great pleasure for them to come back to school and to share their journeys with every one of you. It's now my pleasure to introduce our panelists for today, right? We have a Q&A segment, and our panelists will be helping us out to answer some of your questions. We have the course chair for the Common Business Program, Miss Alison Ho. Hi, Alison, are you there?
Yes, Lorraine. Hello, everybody. I'm Alison. I'm the course chair for Common Business Program.
And then we have Miss Winnie Wood, who you've already met. She's the course chair of the Diploma in Business Administration. Hi, Winnie.
Hi, everybody.
And lastly, the course chair for the Diploma in Human Resource Management with Psychology, Mr. Jasper Sia. Hi, Jasper. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, just a reminder, at the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A button. You can ask our panelists questions by clicking on the Q&A button and keying in your questions. Let us welcome our panelists again, Ms. Alison Ho, Ms. Winnie Wood, and Mr. Jasper Sia. We will now move into the Q&A segment. This first question, right, will be for Mr. Jasper. For DHRMP students, right, if they do not have much experience in HR, what can they include in their portfolio?
All right. Thanks for the question. Good question. So, a HR career is a profession that is heavy on serving and relating. So we listen well and we engage the employees in the organization. All right. So for your EAE preparation, just think about the times when you volunteer, when you work with strangers and friends to organize events and activities, when you lead a committee, work on projects and solve problems together, or maybe managing and organizing your CCA groups, right? So have all these stories. So we look forward to you sharing with us your stories and reflections during the times when you serve, solve problems together, and when you relate to people. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasper. Okay, our next question, I believe we would like to have one of our students answer this question, or maybe more than one of them. Are CCAs necessary in Polytechnic? Perhaps maybe we have Sean or Paul to share with us.
Hi. Yeah. So
Hi, Sean. Thank you.
yeah, so CCAs are not compulsory in SP, so you are not obliged. You are not forced to take a CCA, right? But it's highly encouraged because you get to meet a wide range of people from other schools as well. So, for example, you get to meet people from engineering, from School of Chemical Life Sciences, etc. And you not only get to widen your network, but you also have a place to de-stress after perhaps a tiring week at school. Yeah, so really encourage you to take up a CCA even though it's not compulsory.
To add on to Sean, I really think that being part of a CCA really enhances your schooling within SP, because what SP really focuses on is a holistic education. And with that, it really does its best to teach you within its curriculum. But outside its curriculum, the students get to mingle with people who are like-minded and really grow together and become industry-ready people. You don't just learn things like things really within your curriculum, but you also learn how to interact with people from different personalities. Because in CCAs, you get to interact with people from very diverse backgrounds. For example, I got to interact with people from different diplomas, like engineering, computing, and it really broadens your perspective in the working world.
Could I just add on?
Sure,
Yes.
Alison.
Actually, the CCAs actually can also enhance your portfolio for your future employment, as well as your further studies for admissions to local universities or overseas university. It's similarly to how you actually consolidate your portfolio now to for the EAE admission. So you have to look at, hey, what are the CCAs that you have been doing, what are the takeaways, the reflections. So these are your portfolios for EAE interview. So when you come to join SB of Singapore Polytechnic, if you can, you join a CCA that is of interest to you, and that could potentially be your portfolio for future employment, or in future if you want to apply for university, and they can potentially help you.
Maybe I'll just add a little to what Alison has mentioned. Like Alison was saying, actually CCA are essential part of any good university application because they certainly help you show longevity. And what do I mean by that? When a student is committed to something and they have that tenacity to stick with it. And it also showcases leadership, the fact that they take the initiative to, and plan how to use their spare time. organizing their club activities, etc. And these are the sort of attributes that university admissions officers, or their corresponding course chair that tends to look for as well.
Exactly. Paul mentioned about time management. Yeah, he said that he learns a lot and he actually managed to handle many things, multitasking. So all of this really enrich your experience and qualify you for potential employment that the prospect employer are looking for. So try not to be just 100% study. You need to make new friends.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you, Alison, for the insights. This question will be directed to Jasper, right? And Winnie, maybe after that you can also chime in. If I have, a question for, actually, if I have interest in DHRMP as well as DBA, right, for the EAE write-ups, do I need to write 2 different write-ups for the application?
Right. Thanks for the question. I think this is an admin process. If I'm not wrong, students are supposed to write different write-ups for different application choices. Yeah. But do confirm it when you receive the instructions for your EAE application. Yeah.
Thank you, Jasper. Okay, our next question is from someone who is looking for DBA information, right? What are some jobs or career choices for students who graduate with a diploma in business administration?
Hi, thank you for that question. Yes, I didn't get to cover that earlier. Yeah, good question. So due to the broad-based nature of a diploma in business administration, having quite a bit of core fundamentals or business essentials, as well as the 3 specializations, you find that our graduates will find that they are able to find gainful employment in a wide variety of sectors, industries, and trade. So just more specifically to the specializations, jobs or careers relating to the specialization, give you an example for, let's say, DMB, which is our digital marketing and branding, you'll find that a lot of graduates would be in capacity of marketing communications, social media. So they would serve in executive positions starting, and then progressively into more senior positions. So for the international trade and operations, we would have students or graduates going into the field of operations management, project management, logistic, quite a big variety there, even import and export management, freight and all that. Whereas for our entrepreneurship students, they also have very interesting career choices thereafter. They can be in business development, having learned a bit of everything from 3 areas. Some, however, would continue to run their startup, their businesses, and others may join their family businesses and to help to professionalize the business further. So these are some of the career choices for our DBA student. Thank you for the question.
Thank you very much, Winnie. Our next question will be, I would like perhaps I think Burdette and Chen Chi to answer, since they're current students, right? This question is, what is a typical day like for a student in the School of Business? Maybe Burdette, you want to take that question first?
Hi, so sorry, Burdette went to the toilet. So I don't mind answering on behalf of her.
Okay, thank you, Herman.
Yep. So like a day of a student, I think as someone who is quite committed in CCAs as well, at the start of the day, of course, it's varied for different curriculums. But for me, my earliest day was 9 a.m. So coming to school, a little bit, I would say tired, but actually quite excited to learn things. For example, for my 9 a.m. classes, it's actually for my FYP. So I was looking forward to meeting my clients and having presentations for them. So after which, the typical lunch and everything, so forth. If I don't have CCA, I'll be able to go home early, and I think that's the most exciting part of the day itself. But if not, I'll be looking forward to going to my CCA itself. So going down to my club room, getting equipment, and so forth. I think one of the key highlights is actually during the lesson itself, I'm able to interact with my my classmates. And actually, DHRMP modules are structured in a way where we have a lot of collaborative learning. So we don't learn just from, the simple textbook or slides. We also actually manage to combat some of the situations that, for example, articles from Straits Times, and then we actually unpack it with the theories that we learn in class. So that, and with the explanation from our lecturers, it helps us really understand what exactly we're learning. So I think that's one of the key highlights that I want to bring about, especially in a day of life of DHRMP student. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Herman. Chen Ti, would you like to share your day in the life?
Okay, so for me, it's around the same as Herman. I would say a typical day in life of like an SP student would be, I guess I wake up, then I go to school, and I attend my classes and tutorials, and then after that, I would like meet up with my group mates to discuss and work on projects. So I think I really enjoy going to school, especially like going to class, because you can meet your teachers face to face, right? So I really enjoy like working within my group mates during discussions in class, because during the actual classes you get to discuss on case studies together with your team members, which I find very helpful in my learning because you get to apply it to actual case studies. So and apart from that, I guess yeah, that would be my typical day in the life.
Actually, Chancy, one follow-up question for you. Do you have to go to school every day?
No, it's according to the schedule that is planned out for you. So let's say 1 week you have, let's say 4 days you have to go to school, then you will only be required to go to school for the 4 days. But as of now, for the lectures, it is all online. So it's like a flipped classroom concept where you watch your lecture videos yourself at home at your own free time. So it's like your own time, own target. And then you go to class to consult your teachers whenever needed, and basically go for tutorials where you get to actually discuss with your classmates and work on questions. So yeah, you do have some days where you stay at home and watch your lecture videos. Yeah.
Yes, very different from your typical secondary school timetable where you're in school pretty much the whole day, right?
Yes.
Thank you so much, students, for sharing and giving some of our audience a little insight to what a day in the life of an SB student is like. Okay, our next question is this person would like to know, how is the aptitude test like for a DHRMP diploma, for example? Maybe Jasper, you would like to take that?
Okay, right. Thanks, Lauren. Yeah, so the aptitude test will be similar, right, regardless of diploma in HR or accountancy or DBA or diploma in the banking and finance, right? So typically, it will comprises 30 MCQ questions, which will test you on a range of skills ranging from your verbal reasoning, mathematical ability to business knowledge. Simple questions. Yeah, so this will just give us an idea on how receptive you are and how well read you are in the business area, as well as your reasoning and mathematical abilities. Don't worry, there's no 10-year series, or there's no need to study for it. Yeah, with your knowledge amassed over your past 10 over years of education will suffice. Okay.
Thank you, Jasper. Our next question, Winnie, I believe you would like to answer this question. It says, what and how is the aptitude test like for DBA, and what are you specifically looking for in the portfolio?
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jasper. Also, so to add on to what Jasper's mentioned, the aptitude test is the part that is round one, where they do the 30 MCQs in language, numeracy, and logical thinking. So I think what this question is probably asking is more specifically relating to how to prepare in terms of the panel interview. So during the interviews, we will be asking questions that let us understand the candidate better in situations that perhaps revolves around the ability to work in teams, ability to cope with stress, for example. And then it would be good if for DBA, the applicant is able to showcase their interest. Now, let's say the applicant's interested to apply for diploma, the specialization, that is in marketing, for example. And then it's through the CCA and through his or her interest to show that it is geared towards marketing communications, publicity, social media interests, etc. And then for the area of IE, for example, they could show whether they have some track record of running small businesses, or exposure to entrepreneurship type of training. Now, these need not, I must stress, need not be just on CCA alone. It can also be your skill sets, your involvement in grassroots organizations, or through even as a class monitor, or as well as through your religious organizations, if you help up in your mosque, your church, etc. So I haven't said much about ITO. So it's the students who come through EAE who says they're keen on IE can also perhaps shows interest on procurement, global trade, etc. So do find opportunities to showcase this when you bring your portfolio and when you answer those questions during the group interview.
Thank you very much, Winnie. I think we have time for a couple more questions. This perhaps for Alison. What is the workload like for DCBP or Common Business Program? Or maybe Sean or Jordan could help you to answer that question as well.
Okay, thank you, Lorraine. The workload for a typical DCBP students is also very similar to the workload of every first year SBA student. Okay, because CBP curriculum are very much the same as our SB first year curriculum. So everybody come to SB, join as a first year students, they would take the same first year fundamental modules. All right, so typically, I think you have heard all the student speakers mentions about they have probably about like 20 hours, about 24, 26 hours every week of lessons. They may spread out across maybe 4 days to 5 days. If you happen to have, one free day out of the Friday, so that day you don't have to come to school. And of course, if you have CCA, and then you may have to stay back after school. And for School of Business, in fact, for the entire Singapore Polytechnic, every Wednesday afternoon is free. There's no lessons because that is the time for everybody to take CCA, such that you can meet friends from School of Engineering, School of Business, School of Chemical Life Science, etc. All right, so maybe I'll let maybe Jordan and Sean to share a little bit more about what is your take for your workload.
For myself, the workload wise was still manageable for me as I kind of adapted to this Polytechnic students' life quite fast. So basically, as what Miss Alison has stated, other than CCAs, so for our normal school day, for myself, in Sem 1 and Sem 2, I had about 4 days a week of school day. So some of the off day, I will use it to plan group meetings with my for some of the modules, project CA. So that will be some of the time where I will meet up with them to consolidate what we have done for the work and to prepare for the presentations and reports to be done, to be submitted. And then there's some of the other days I'll be using it to do my lectures and do my pre-tutorial task. So anything from Sean?
Yeah, I think quite similar to Jordan. I only had four school days a week when I was in CBP. And I think like all other courses, you have your days in school during your tutorials, and then you have your lectures to watch at home. So I think again, it's not hard to manage. It's easy to manage if you plan your time well. So you just need to ensure that you know when you need to do a certain thing by, and then get it done by then. And also, what to look ahead of time to know what you're supposed to do, what you need to do, and what is required of you. So like if you know, okay, Monday I need to watch a lecture, okay, maybe don't do it on Sunday, do it on Saturday or do it on Friday. So give yourself some leeway in a sense, right, to move around. Yeah, so that's very important. And I think the workload is manageable as long as you plan your time well and you don't stress out too much.
And not forgetting that there is term break. Yeah, actually now, in June, we are having our term break. So 1 year, typically there are 2 semesters, and within a semester, there is this break. So in total for a year, students have 4 breaks. Okay, semester breaks, we have 6 weeks break. So some students may even, go overseas, traveling with their parents, and may even get some part-time jobs. And for the term break is 3 weeks, and that is the break in between term 1 and term 2 in 1 semester. So most of the students will leverage on this term break to catch up with their schoolwork. There's some projects, so they will meet up with their friends, pace themselves up such that they can use the term break to do some projects, so that when they come back to the term time, certain project would have done, so that they could catch up with other assessments during the term. So it's very much manageable. It's really about time management.
Thank you, Alison and Sean, as well as Jordan, for telling us a little bit about the workload in SB. We'll take our final question here. And this, I guess we can, all 3 course chairs can answer this question, right? It's talking about EAE acceptance rate for each of your diplomas. So please, maybe Alison first, followed by Winnie, and then Jasper. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. Okay, this aptitude admission exercise, really there is no hard quota, honestly, because besides the academic grades, we are actually looking for students who are passionate and interested in business. So if you are not sure about which particular specializations, such as human resource management with psychology or maybe marketing, then you may want to just explore business in general. Okay, go through all the taster modules that is related to all the various specialization. Then you make a decision at the end of first year. Okay, so we want to know, okay, why not engineering? All right, so why not information technologies? So because we also have, besides common business program, we also have common engineering program, common IT program in Singapore Polytechnic. So very much we are looking for you to share with us, why do you choose SP CBP, for example? And if you really show your interest, your passions, and you're able to demonstrate that with your portfolio, you are in. Okay, so we'll shortlist you for our panel interview if you have gone through the aptitude test, and then you are able to articulate your passions and show your portfolio. That's it. So we are really looking at the aptitude that you show during the panel interview. So to answer the questions, I would say there is really no hard quota. If you are good, we will get you. Maybe Winnie or Jasper?
Yes, thanks, Alison, for the wonderful answer. Yes, I think along the same thread, I would really want to say that, at the EAE, we're really looking for students who, at this stage of their life, hey, have decided that, I really want to come into your course. And a lot of time, I always feel that what distinguishes between students who know what they want at a very early stage, it really determines their success. So I just wanted to share actually a hard fact, really. Both of my gold medalists, which is my top student, and institutional medalist, Joanne, as well as Benicia, you all heard from Benicia, we got them through EAE. So it really shows their resolve and their focus on wanting to, to concentrate on something early. So we are really very keen to get any students who can showcase their aptitude and their suitability for the course at this stage. So we welcome many good candidates. Of course, there is the aptitude test, there is the panel interviews to go through. But if you are well prepared for it, I don't see why not that we'll be meeting you at the panel interview. And also, I just want to give a bit more hint in that your first choice and second choice that you put for your EAE course is extremely important as well. So do value these choices and make your selection wisely. Yeah, I'll pass the time over to Jasper to add on from here.
Right. So thanks, Alison and Winnie. So on top of what Alison and Winnie shared, I think I'd like to assure students here that do not be too overly concerned with statistics like acceptance rate, because really the number of students who apply year on year will be different. Yeah, so it really depends, like this year, how many people apply and how good a quality are the applicants, right? So if you think you have a passion for the subject area like HR, right, and you really wants to do come into SP and do your DHRMP or DBA, or CBP, just apply, right? Because you never know, maybe your quality is really at the top, right? Yeah, so don't be overly concerned with the rates, because it's really relative and it varies year on year. So we hope to see you apply, right, Melody? Thank you.
Thank you, course chairs. We have come to the end of the Q&A session. We hope that we have answered most of your questions. And on the screen now, you will see a QR code for the live Telegram sessions, right? If you'd really like to find out more about the diplomas that you're interested in, we encourage you to come speak to us. And these live Telegram sessions, they happen every Friday from 3 to 5 p.m., right? Our friendly lecturers will be there online to assist you. So we'll hold the screen for a little while so you can take a photo of this screen and save the screen and the QR code so that you can join our Telegram sessions. Okay, on the screen now, you will see the QR code which links you to our flow page. Right? Do follow us at our various channels to find out what's happening in the School of Business. Again, we'll hold this screen for a while so that you can take a photo.